Welcome, listeners, to this week's episode of Unexplained Legends. I'm Roger O'Sullivan, and with me, as always, is
Denis. Sorry, I got too excited.
Not starting again.
Oh no, we're not. A Denis mini pot of ice cream, Len.
And together we are the Unexplained Legends. Denis, care to explain your moniker you gave yourself this week?
I'm just eating a lovely little pot of ice cream that I forgot. Isn't that the nicest thing in the world, especially when you travel?
That is lovely. But one thing that I know that the listener doesn't know is that, dare I say it, Denis, lactose does not have a great effect on you.
Well, have I got a story for you, Raj, right?
Oh.
Because I thought I proved that point when I was eating coconut milk, right? In a curry.
Right.
Little did I know that coconut milk has nothing to do with lactose at all. So now I have no idea what it is.
Oh, wait, so that the coconut milk also affected you negatively?
Yeah, murders me like more than anything. So if there's anyone out there suffering from coconut milk disease like I am, please get in touch.
Do you think there's any chance it's just creamy white substances? They really negatively...
Not all of them.
Mayo?
Not all of them.
How do you do with mayo?
Not all of them.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Raj, I've got something for you, right? I was having a conversation with a friend.
I have two things for you after this as well.
All right, well, this one's a big one. Okay, so I've gone back to the gym, right? Yeah. Back in the gym, gymming away, right? It's a lovely gym. I have to go into a little tube, actually. I have to enter a keypad, go into a little tube, and then you're sucked up into the things like they have in Tesco when they put the money into it, and you land on the treadmill. But I have to say, it's pretty terrifying when you're inside in that tube. There's not an awful lot of room inside there, and I do kind of feel like, what if something went wrong at this very moment? But anyway, it gets you up for the gym. But I have been thinking, seriously, and this is not a joke, seriously, thinking about doing steroids.
Are you fucking joking me?
Yeah, why not? Like, what do you think?
There's so many reasons why you in particular shouldn't.
Why me in particular? What the hell does that mean? I'm not more susceptible to steroids than the next man.
Oh, come on. You'll go mental on it. And you'll be telling me, oh yeah, but the thing is, they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, they are doing it wrong. I think a small cycle of steroids just to get me on the road. And I won't name him, right? But his theory was that if you did so many steroids, right? You did so much steroids that basically you build up past what you even want. That obviously when you go off the steroids, you kind of reduce in size a little bit.
It sounds very like the steroid equivalent of whacking the oven up to 220.
It's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
And then you only lose like 15-20% after that, but you're already massive, so you've gained, like, even if you gained 20%, that would be amazing.
This is so I think then I thought I had two big bombshells for you. Wait till you see my bombshells.
You bought a new pencil case.
I'm going to do steroids. One of my bombshells is literally I bought water that came in a cardboard carton. So that's one bombshell. I think personally, I just don't think it would be good for the brand if just bit by bit you just got like larger and larger in the screen. Also I think the problem with the steroids is you will eventually you'll start breaking things in your flat. I've never been to your flat, but I've been led to believe that it's like, not necessarily the most spacious flat in the world, as mine isn't either. I suspect
nicest way you've ever put a London flat.
Yeah, but I suspect that increased bulk wouldn't do anything for that kind of personal space.
It's so small, there are scientists outside my windows going, look at the rat, he's turning on the television.
Look at the little freak. The freak rat.
But one thing I wanted to put out there as well is, and not to the listeners, right, because I'm not trying to source it, but how do you get steroids? Like,
it's easy to get.
Because tons of people seem to be using them. Like at the gym, you can see there's like half the places using steroids, right? So how do you get them?
I know a lad who back in Cork. I need to be very careful. He's not in Cork actually. He's in another place, but he is in Ireland, and they're called donuts. And he just kept noticing lads in the changing rooms saying, "Oh, I'm going to get a few donuts now. I'm going to get a few donuts after that workout," and for ages he was just like, Jesus, like that's going to undo all their good work. Then he just found out that the one PT that sells it, the like code name for it is donuts. Oh, I'm going to get some donuts. And the thing is, if you know, you're in the know. But if you're not in the know and you're going to the gym, if you hear somebody go, "Oh, I'm going for donuts," you're like, "Fuck that!" Like, so it's like self-eliminating.
But also, if you look at the guy, and he's like absolutely built like a brick shithouse, and he's got an abs and stuff, and then you hear he's also eating donuts, and you're like, "Why the fuck am I even bothering? There's no point."
It destroys their gym membership. And also, to answer your question, Dennis, based on your description, yes, I can sort you out.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The my little geez, you really stole my thunder with what I was coming out with, because you're launching a new personality, which is you on steroids. Literally.
Yeah.
It's not like, geez, have you met Denis recently? It's like Denis on steroids. No, he's on
literally
steroids.
Is.
Mine was going to be my new personality drop. This shirt, if you've seen it.
Got a new shirt. Yeah. Is that some sort of writing on it I'm not familiar with, or is that just designs?
No, I think some of it is Japanese.
Okay, any idea what it says, the Japanese on your shirt?
It says, "Cool guy."
Cool guy.
Yeah, cool guy, that's what I reckon. Right, now I'm actually going to take this shirt off. I was just wearing it for... I do plan to wear it, but I don't want to get sweat on it yet before I wear it.
Where are you planning on like doing the big reveal with that?
Gigs. A comedian who I don't know if she listens to this or not. Abby Cole, brilliant comedian. She described something that she was wearing on stage, which I thought looked really fashionable. She described it as soft launching new clothing under the guise of stand-up comedy, and I thought that that's genius. So I'm going to rob a bit of that myself.
So you mean if like people hate it, you can just say, it's just a bit.
Yeah, that's a gag.
Yeah, that's my style. I don't actually dress like that, and then you go home and cry.
But Dennis, this brand, something called the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air by Drill Clothing.
Roger.
Yeah. Have
you cut a deal with someone?
No, I haven't.
No.
Only the fine folks at TK Maxx. How much do you think this retails for? I'm going to throw it over there now.
All right. It looks kind of like a nightie, if you know what I mean. It's got nightie wear.
It's silk.
Yeah, kind of a saucy number someone would pull out to freshen up the old relationship.
It's very high quality.
I mean, what section did you get it in? Did you get it in the lingerie section, or is it actually what it is?
No, it is what it is. It's a fashionable men's shirt.
I would say, I'm going to be honest, right? I'm not going to lowball it. £30.
Wait, are you asking how much I paid for it, or how much it actually retails for it?
Oh, I was saying how much you paid for it.
So I paid €22 for it.
Okay.
That's good. Right.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Retail, $180.
You believe that, yeah?
Not only do I believe it, I found it online in a bidding war.
A bidding war?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? A bidding war?
A bidding war on eBay. I'm seeing it. I'm fucking seeing it.
You spicing stuff up.
I'm thinking I gotta get this.
Why don't you sell it? Sell it for fucking £200.
I can't, Dennis. I've bonded with it.
How much did it go for on eBay?
It's still going.
How much?
It's still going. It's at least gonna go for £180.
£1.80.
What? 180.
Well, sell the fucking thing.
No, I've bonded with it.
It's not that nice.
Fuck off! It is that nice.
It's not £200 nice.
It is. Hang on. I've never had to do this before. I need to relieve myself. I need to go to the toilet.
Okay, go for it. I'm going to stay here and talk about your shirt.
You have to keep the podcast going.
Oh, he's off. I don't really know how long Roger takes to pee. I think he's quite quick. Actually, just to let you in on a little secret, when we used to live in our previous apartment, we could hear each other pee, which was very unnerving. I always put it into my head that it was a woman from next door. I don't know why, but I just decided that it was. That way then we wouldn't have to talk about how loudly he pisses, because he pisses quite loudly. I think he's got quite the stream. You know, I think his stream breaks. He's got that kind of a thing. You know, so it comes out and it goes like blub 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 blub. It's very. It'll wake you up at night. That's the way it is. Whoa, that was quick. He's back. How did you? Were you still pissing coming in the door?
I've told you before that I have good length on my stream.
So you pissed from the door.
Yeah. That way I made up time on the way back.
Just to fill you in, but we should really get on to the episode after this. But just to tell you what I was talking about, I was talking about the sound of you pissing for the last 4 minutes.
Could you hear it?
No, I was just talking about hearing it in the previous flat.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes. But anyway, what are we doing this week?
Well, this week, Dennis, we're doing a very special one, as you can imagine. Last week's one was very, very successful, I would say.
Really?
People loved it. Do you remember what it was?
Reddit Alien Expose.
Yes, it was. And this week's, Dennis, is something similar, right? It's I don't like that look you gave me. It's in a similar vein. And I thought we're really on a hot streak with the UFO stuff at the moment.
Can I stop you there for a second? You mean a similar vein, as in it's someone's posted something on Reddit and we're going to read it out again?
No.
No. Were you traveling this week?
4chan. It's on 4chan this
4chan?
time. On 4chan this time.
Wow.
Dennis, we're covering a topic called the underwater UFO factory.
I mean, can I say anything after that? To be honest, what can I possibly add to that title?
It's hard to beat that, isn't it, Dennis? So on the back of that, do you want to just crack straight on with the lamestream narrative? Okay. In that case, then, I will crack on with the lamestream narrative. There have long been stories of unidentified flying objects of unknown origin. Whether these are the angels or demigods of many ancient religions, or the modern interpretations of the flying saucer, they have always been a part of the human experience. But we're so often focused on the objects themselves, we are guilty of glossing over their origins, missing the woods for the trees, if you will. Rarely do we truly ask where it is these objects have actually come from. This is except for one anonymous poster on the online forum 4chan who did exactly that. Are
you telling me he's the first lad to do it?
Yeah, I think so.
What have we been doing on this fucking podcast for the last 70 episodes?
Okay. So we've done it, yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think you'll agree with me that often we get caught up. We get caught up in the fact, these are aliens or whatever. But we don't ask where have the aliens come from.
That is total BS. I constantly ask that on this podcast. I constantly ask what's their purpose and where they're from.
And what's my answer?
You're like, that doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah, which proves my point. So often we get caught up in it.
No, not we.
But okay, well, put it to you this way. Which one of us would you say more accurately represents the UFO community?
Oh, sorry, you actually cut out there a little bit. Sorry to be unprofessional.
Okay, everything okay?
Yeah, it's all good. It was just an internet connection. That's it.
Which one of us do you think more accurately represents the UFO community?
What kind of a trap is this that you're? I would say you definitely represent the UFO community at large. At large, emphasis at large.
So I'm. Is that a jibe at my weight? So I'm saying, Dennis, in that respect, you can assume from me, extrapolate out as a sample size of one, that a lot of people that are interested in UFOs, we're kind of caught up in the nuts and bolts and the mechanics of the UFOs, and we don't really think, where did they come from?
Of course they do.
What?
Of course you never thought about where they come from. They just arrive and you're just like, oh, here. Like, are you telling me when, like, I don't know, your cousins or something call in, you're like, don't know where they're from, but like, I'm happy with it.
I'll put it to you this way then. I don't think about their actual manufacturing. Their process.
We just did an episode on it.
No, we didn't. We did the aliens themselves. On the beings.
And where half manufactured on Earth, half manufactured where else?
What? This is like the ships and stuff.
Okay, all right. I'll just point something else out, right? How the hell are we meant to know where they're from for a start?
Well, we'll find out during this episode.
But like, I'm being led to believe now that they are on Earth underwater.
Yes. Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
But yes. Am I getting a Nintendo for Christmas? Yes, but I don't want to spoil anything.
I can neither confirm nor deny that, but I do have a copy of Mario 64. Dennis, I think you'll understand more what I mean as I go through the source, okay? So in April 2023, so this is recent, an anonymous user claiming to have worked for the US military in some capacity came forward and told his story of working on a research project which examined the earthly source of many of the so-called UFOs and UAPs which individuals so frequently see. The source being none other than a secret underwater UFO factory operating in the Atlantic Ocean, somewhere near the Bermuda Triangle. He started with a relatively straightforward post, prompting individuals for questions on his intimate knowledge of the UFO intelligence of the US military. What followed was an intense few hours of questioning. During this time, he confirmed that the base had been in operation for at least 100 years, but with some thinking that possibly it's been operating since at least 4000 BC.
Oh, okay, all right, just stop you there, right? Because obviously there's a lot to dig into underwater alien UFO factory, right? Which you saw, I didn't even jump in when you said that.
Didn't even flinch at that.
But who are the some that are saying it's from 4000 BC?
There's some lads on the project.
You mean some lads on the project, or some lads on Reddit who are just saying, I think this is from 4000 BC?
No, they're on the project, I think.
They're on the project, you think? I don't understand what UFO people, right? Because you represent the UFO community at large, right? That needs to be caught and put in somewhere. But why do you insist on having like, okay, this is a little bit believable, and then someone just comes in and goes 4000 BC and just absolutely whacks away your credibility?
I can answer that. Right? I can
Are
answer that.
Are you going to?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to. I'm just about to, actually. So, the 100 years thing, that's conservative. They have kind of proof of that. They know it's been operating for at least 100 years.
Why? Is there a plaque in there and it says like opened by just like some minister? And
based on their research. I don't know how they know it, but they know it.
How are they doing it?
They know it. They know it.
How? Surely your man is saying how they know it on the post, no?
That wasn't asked.
Where did you get it from?
What do you mean?
Well, where did you get the 100 years from then? Was that...
he said that.
He said it, but he didn't give any proof as to
why. Somebody asked him, how long has it been operating? And he said, we know it's been operating for at least 100 years.
You're getting mad at me like I can't understand how to microwave lasagna or something, right? And it's much... And you're explaining the instructions to me or something. But I just want to know, like, it's 100 years ago, because I think this other thing happens to people as well, is where 100 years ago is 1901 or something. But are we literally saying it's, 100 years ago from now, 1923?
Yes. So they have some kind of military proof that something happened there out in 1923.
Where?
Where this is located, in the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, right, okay. In the Bermuda Triangle, I think, is it?
Yes, yeah. Which, put a pin in that, right? That'll come up in the
no way, I'd say.
But some people, so this is what I picture from this, right? And I think this is why there weren't any questions about this, because it's pretty self-explanatory. Is what happened is probably in 1923, a ship probably went missing out there, and the U.S. military has kind of known since then that that's a no-go area, right? And now they're cross-referencing that with stories from as old as 4000 BC. And they're wondering, we have proof of what happened 100 years ago, so we know it was at least there then. But there's a chance that some of these stories from 4000 BC, they might also tie into this.
What stories?
I don't know. I haven't seen the stories.
Okay. So you're telling me that like some US general or whatever at the time comes in, sends out with a ship, they lose the ship, sends out another ship, they lose the ship, sends out another ship, lose the ship, and he comes in and he just puts an X on the map. And he just goes, don't go up there, don't know what's happening.
In 1923?
Yeah.
No, I think they just sent one.
Just one, and that was enough.
What you were saying, but it was one.
Okay.
And they just went, no way.
And they knew where it sank as well.
Yeah, they had a good idea. So, right, it appears to be operated by some kind of advanced AI, and is completely unapproachable. If approached by civilian ships, it merely dives deeper into the water. But if approached by military vehicles, it will engage if it senses a threat.
So it's not like bolted onto the ground then. It's like a huge submarine kind of thing, is it?
Yeah. Massive. They call it a freighter, some of them.
Is it like in X-Men the animated series where the Sentinels have like a kind of a king sentinel? Is it that type of thing?
I don't fully remember that, but just based on your explanation, I would say yes.
Okay, good.
It's a giant ship.
But it But it can attack and stuff.
It can do whatever it wants.
Whatever.
That's how advanced it is. This is an example of it can attack, right? Because in one case, God, I really want ice cream now after you eating that ice cream. In one case, right, it even completely eliminated a pilot and ship because they were flying an attack jet towards it on what was supposedly like a recon mission, but he said that realistically it was a suicide mission. Because they were pretty sure that when something with weapons came that close to it, it was just going to obliterate it. And it did. Just wiped it off.
And they sent that in deliberately to kind of test its defenses.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so this thing, just ballpark, how big is it? Like comparison-wise?
I couldn't even give a guess.
Well, you have to.
I have to give a guess.
Like, okay, is it bigger than a football field?
I think I would have thought in my head, off the top of my head, it would be like as big as Gibraltar.
Of course, you give that comparison. I can't put that into a square.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the size of a country then.
It's massive, I think.
Okay, but yeah, because it can't have too much.
Undetectable.
Yeah, but it can't have too much room to maneuver in the Atlantic Ocean, I assume, right? Must be hard enough.
No, Gibraltar's not that big. It's okay. Let's say it's half the size of Gibraltar.
Yeah, I think you've overshot a little bit.
It's massive though. It is really big.
But with advanced technology, why does it have to be so big? You'd think it'd be smaller, not bigger. That sounds like some sort of like turn of the century industrialization kind of thing, like.
Well, two things I'll say to that. One, you'll kind of get a sense of that later.
Mm-hmm.
But two, the other one is
the other one is a great phrase.
Two, the other one is that
just in case there's really like people really not being able to keep up at all, like.
Two, the second one is that it's I can't
remember. Brilliant, Roger. Absolutely fantastic.
I can't remember.
Oh no!
I can't remember.
Well,
yeah. I remember.
I'd hate to see you in front of a grand jury.
No, you don't know what this fucking thing's up to.
Okay.
You don't know, like, if you knew what it's up to.
Are you crying? What are you talking about? You sound like it's like stalking you or something. You don't know what this is up to. You don't know what it's put me through.
You don't know how big it needs to be. So,
all right. Well, I can't even remember what we're talking about.
The facility builds different kinds of ships based on what job is needed, building different varieties for different tasks, such as scientific, mining, recon, etc. Previously, the ships were much more frequently manned by like actual humanoid creatures, but now they're often completely unmanned drone type affairs.
But I thought they said it was an advanced AI
making them. They're in control of the like giant freighter.
Yeah, so why did they need a couple of humanoids down there?
So I think it's making the humanoids as well, based on tying it up to last week's episode
and sending them out into Earth then.
Where it's like genetically making them, you know?
And like, what's the government's take on this? Are they worried about this massive alien factory underwater? Like,
they're very curious about it.
Yeah.
That's the general take.
I'd probably be pretty scared, to be honest.
They're very curious, right? And it's because, right, there have been no successful attempts at communication, but it's believed that the base has a tacit acceptance of humans, and that the beings or like the intelligence, let's say, behind the underwater craft could wipe us out instantly if they wanted. But for now, at least, they're just monitoring us. Their activities also rise during global conflict and dip during times of peace.
I read a really interesting thing. I'm just reading a sci-fi book at the moment. They were talking about how AI, if we create them, that there'll be certain factions of AI that will see us as a god or at least a creator, and will then try and protect us.
That would be good.
Which gives me some hope for the future, which would be quite nice.
That's the AI would want us to think as well.
You know what? If that's what I thought, and they're off doing other stuff, I wouldn't really mind. Okay. So at the moment, right, what we've been presented with is a huge thing, the size of half of Gibraltar, right, which is really easy for everyone to imagine at home, and it's just floating around the sea. And in times of conflict, what was that line?
It sends out more ships, basically. More.
It sends out more ships to where?
Like to Earth. It sends out more UFOs. UFOs. I think I mentioned that.
Yeah, I know you did. But I just what's the purpose of the UFOs? What are they up to?
So we do not fully know what their purpose is on Earth, but we know that they often send ships out of orbit. So sending off. Perhaps even scarier. Even scarier. They also supposedly receive ships from off-world. So it is two-way traffic, right?
So it's like an airport.
Yeah, giant underwater base. Yeah.
Factory.
Yes, factory. It's like an airport if the airport made the airplanes as well.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Just giant alien underwater factory.
Doesn't have a name.
Have the government even named it anything? No.
They've named it, I think, but he doesn't. Nobody asked that.
He doesn't. Okay, I might look and see if we can get a name for it.
So, while the general wisdom, Dennis, is that the intelligence originated off-world, there's some question if it in fact predates humans as well.
So it's older than humans themselves. So this thing has been operating, and then we just happen to pop along.
Yes, so that's what some people think. But the other thing they think is that it's cropped up at some stage, and that since then it's been looking after us. But to answer your question, though, they think it kind of monitors us.
Okay.
That's why it goes up during times of conflict.
I've got something a bit creepy here, a bit spooky, right?
Go on. Yeah.
So I'm looking on Reuters, right?
Yes.
And I see it, and it's update. This is the headline just in Google search. It says Sweden's military investigates suspicious ... And then the little kind of blurb before you can see it. The armed forces have on Friday received information about alien underwater activity in Stockholm archipelago. The military said in a ... Clicking it, 404 not found.
That is
that's weird, isn't it?
That is spooky. That is spooky, and if anything, it bodes very well for the podcast.
There's an alien base off the coast of Malibu as well.
That's not it. I think that's maybe is that Atlantic?
I
thought that would have been Pacific.
Where? So this one is in the Atlantic. I just want to see. Doing a little bit of live underwater research.
4chan also might help to get you there.
4chan. All right, do I want to go to 4chan? Let's see.
Well, no, not actually going there, but just.
Oh, okay. So actually, I just want to read this. Oh, this guy is this fella says here, right? If you all recall, some guy in 4chan talked about insider knowledge concerning the existence of a large UFO facility in the Atlantic Ocean that manufactures built-to-spec UFO drones, predominantly in the Bermuda Triangle area. I can't say I believe him 100%, but everything he has said feels so plausible. He has mentioned niche things like the larger cigar-shaped UFOs with windows, where witnesses believe they were like viewing decks, right? Anyway, so one thing nobody's brought up is, are you going to bring this up? Because I don't want to ruin it. Is OTEC, which is the US Navy's version of Area 51.
No, he didn't bring that up.
Located in the Bahamas, right beside the Bermuda Triangle. Then there's this guy named Bob Fish, who is a former intelligence officer and talked about very identical stuff. And this is a quote from this intelligence officer. He said there were times when they were diverted from these missions to track UFOs off the coast of Florida. His claim was the UFOs had a landing and takeoff spot in the ocean east of Miami, north of Bermuda. He also claimed there was a specific electronic signature emanating from them when they were going into or coming out of the water, so they're easy to track. On several occasions, they filmed the UFOs as it transitioned from water to air, or vice versa.
Okay.
Or vice versa.
Sounds believable to me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you've gone off and you found an independent source backing up what I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I found another anonymous person on the internet who was making up stuff.
I thought you said that guy's name was Bob Fish.
Yeah, that guy, Bob Fish, that's not him posting. Posting is Apollo Rising, and this is on Our Aliens as well. So,
well, it sounds top to bottom to me.
Yeah.
Reputable lads, yeah?
Sorry, I just want one more comment and I swear then get going, but this is hilarious. This guy, and it's only 2 months ago, a guy goes, I work at a base down at Homestead. One night after pilots came back, I go, hey sir, how'd your flight go? Anything interesting? And he goes, just a couple of UFOs, nothing crazy. We all laugh and look at him, and his face is stone cold, and goes, have a good day, gentlemen, and walks off. I've had a few other interesting things mentioned, so I fully believe there is something off the coast of Florida.
Well, this is sounding open and shut to me, Dennis.
It's pretty cool.
So, I think this will get back onto what you're talking about as to like what they're doing here and how they're interacting with us. The poster elaborates that the beings are not that careful around humans, not needing to be discreet. They appear relatively uncaring towards us in this regard, and thus often have crashes or incidents of exposure. Many of these are down to them encountering strange gravity disturbances in certain areas of Earth, which cause their engines to stop working. He also confirmed that in these black spots, the military have often retrospectively unearthed downed vehicles, often being discovered years after the crash. I thought that was an interesting tidbit because I think it kind of I think you always think of them as like live recovery, but actually this is just finding them and recovering.
Do you know what's cool there is the point you bring up about them not really caring about humans and interacting with them and stuff like that. But I never thought about it that the fact of maybe the aliens are like, yeah, we're here, governments or whatever, but it's up to you to conceal us.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're not going to conceal ourselves. We've got too much shit to do, right? You're the little monkeys or whatever. You have to conceal it if it's such a big deal to you. I think that's actually kind of a cool angle that the onus is on the governments to do it and not the aliens who couldn't give a shit.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It also confirmed, right? The Post also confirmed that the crashes can at various times be the result of failed off-planet launches, so that it's quite hard to escape, like Earth. And
they get sucked back in.
Yeah, or like they'll get hit by a piece of space debris and fall back down. And the ships manned are manned. If they are manned, if the ships are manned, they're manned by the classic grey alien types, Joe, that we're familiar with. But he had little additional knowledge about them, the poster, except for the fact that they're potentially psychic.
So, little footnote there.
Yeah, it's just, but that's kind of known. I think we've come across that before.
So these are psychic aliens that are potentially underwater. And what is the purpose of them being, or what's the reason for them picking planet Earth, do you think?
We don't know, but there's some scary suggestions.
But like, maybe it sounds like maybe we're in the center of, you know, like a kind of a crossroads maybe in the universe where there's lots of things around. Like we're just like a giant petrol station or something.
You were saying, we're an intergalactic service station is what you're suggesting.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I think I actually think that the explanation he gives is quite spooky in its own right, and it touches on something we've talked about before. He said that there's a split in the intelligence community about their purpose here on Earth. Some think that they are watching us, waiting for us to mature, much like, let's say, a zoo, where the zookeepers are keeping an eye on the animal's safety. That's the zoo theory we've talked about before. While others, I think this is going to make you, tremble a bit in the trouser department. Right? Others suggest that they're actually merely safeguarding the planet, making sure that humans don't destroy it, as they await for something else to come here and eventually claim the planet for themselves.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the only problem is they're doing a piss poor job of it, because we are steadily destroying the planet day by day.
Well, I think that there's a few things they'll tolerate. Like, they don't mind if it gets a bit hot.
Okay, they're built for it.
Yeah. But they're built different. But they don't want nuclear explosions and stuff.
All right, I got one for you, right? They don't want nuclear explosions, but assuming that they're water-based, right? Maybe this is all part of their plan, that they're giving humans technology and, like, boosting corporations' powers and stuff, so it's all, like, anti-climate. That doesn't make any sense, but they're like, they don't believe in climate change and whatever, and they're doing everything to increase global warming because they want the sea levels to rise. Because they want more water to be on Earth for when they're basically terraforming it, but we're doing the job for them. If you get what I mean.
Sorry, can I just wrap my head around this? Is that you've gone from the start of the episode, right? The start of the episode where you're saying you're kind of half telling me this is nonsense, to now you're suggesting to me that it's an intergalactic lobby group.
Yeah,
it's like lobbying Congress to lax climate laws.
Well, I just feel like you've dropped the ball on this one. I think I just had to step in here and just say what's really going on.
Well, what's really going on is when it goes all the way to the top, they want climate change to happen, and that's the most convenient way of them doing it.
Yeah, but this is our only purpose, because like time for them, they're like AI, so time for them, this is a blink of an eye, like from this human civilization or whatever. So we're basically just kind of like their little nanobots or whatever that are running around the place. We think we're in charge of ourselves when we're not, and all we're doing is just, our only purpose is to create climate change and raise the sea levels. And they've probably figured out that by the time they get here, which will be thousands and thousands of years, this is actually the best way to do it, because we'll use the resources of the planet to do it, rather than trying to build all this technology.
Okay, put a pin in that. We'll get to that in theories.
Really?
Not the lobbying part of it.
Okay.
I think that kind of loses a bit of credibility, but the rest of it, put a pin in that, right? Because the user, right? Obviously, you're asking what brought this guy, what made him come forward after all these years, and he said what prompted him to come clean was the fact that he was diagnosed with liver cancer, and felt that it was only right to release the knowledge he knew, as his mindset had been completely changed by the terminal diagnosis. But one particularly chilling remark that stood out to me as I read it is a user asked him if they were friends or foes, to which the poster merely replied, "I don't know. Are there handlers at the zoo friends with the animals?" To this day, the underwater UFO factory remains unexplained.
One of your best pieces to end on there. The underwater UFO factory remains unexplained. Real shock for the listeners there, I'd say, on that statement.
I thought you were being sincere about his statement, but no. It was.
I mean, look, I believe there are aliens out there, right?
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
When did that happen?
Like a couple episodes ago. But I believe I believe there's aliens out there, right? But I believe, in a weird way, that we just have to relinquish control and give over to AIs, like upload our consciousness to that, and that's the only way we're going to survive, because aliens are going to knock on our doors soon, and we're flipped. Because if someone else has AI, we're dead.
So you're saying, put it all on red?
Yes.
Create the AI?
I think so. We're so ill-equipped to basically deal with nearly every sort of universe phenomenon out there that could just instantly destroy us tomorrow. We need AI or we're dead.
There was so much in the 4chan posts
Yeah.
that I couldn't cover it all in the episode. But one of the things that really stood out to me is somebody asked, could we take one of the grey aliens in a fist fight?
And?
Yeah, his answer was like, well, I don't think it had ever happened, but he'd be surprised if we couldn't in like an actual out and out fight.
Imagine how strange it would be though if aliens did land on here and started like populating the place a little bit. People would definitely fight aliens.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it wouldn't be helpful that they look like they could be fought, you know? How would you fight an alien?
I would. I don't know where you'd punch it, because it like as in, because it doesn't have a nose or anything, right? It doesn't have lips.
Yeah.
So like you punch someone in the nose, it's going to hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
I suppose you'd have to kind of punch them into the side of the head, maybe.
You think so? Yeah.
Maybe their neck, because that's where they their voice box and shit is. So
they have no vocal cords.
Vibration thingy is though, isn't it? Or no, that's in their lungs.
I think
hit them in the chest.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would say I'd grab them from like an arm or something, and just start swinging them. Yeah. I think that would probably be your best bet. And like maybe hit. I think if you got one of their legs, and you like really gave them a good swing, and like maybe smash their head against a trunk of a tree, or like side of a building, I think it would crack open like a piñata.
So you're having like a hardcore street match. You're not inside a ring or anything.
Oh no, it's not like we've entered the UFC.
You're just in a park.
Yes, yeah. And one of them said something about my girlfriend or something. Will we crack on with the theories, Dennis, or do you have something to say? You did a very pregnant lip slap.
No, I'll explain that later.
Okay.
But so yeah, how many theories have we got?
Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually 4.5.
Okay, that's pretty good.
4.5, yeah.
All right, start off with your second favorite one.
I think this is my. Yeah, I think it's fair to say this is my second favorite. This is also the half one.
Okay.
This is just that, you know, all the stuff that's attributed to the Bermuda Triangle.
Mm-hmm.
That's this base throughout time.
Okay, yeah. We stepped into that a little bit. I could buy that. So it's just the defenses are just shooting down everything if it goes into Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
No,
so that's not really like a theory in itself. It's kind of more of just a footnote.
A tidbit. I have one kind of problem with that though. If the governments know about this and the Bermuda Triangle, why are they still letting like passenger planes and everything fly over that place? Surely they'd say like, we can't go in here because of like tropical storms or something.
Because if you were listening, Dennis,
I was.
Which, well, so often you're not. He said that civilian crafts, it just dives deeper. It tries to avoid them.
Okay, yeah, but there's been a ton lost.
Yeah, but it goes wrong, doesn't it? Sometimes.
But wouldn't you just be better off to say, like, we won't chance it?
Well, you might as well not fly at all at that rate.
No, that's not a good argument. That is...
Yeah, it is, yeah.
No,
why don't we do nothing? Why don't we stay home?
That's like when your mother cooks you a dinner and you say you don't like something in it, and then she says she's never going to cook ever again and goes out the back.
Why don't we just all stay home if that's what you're saying?
No, I think that there's a problem there with that. Like well, I mean, the other argument you could have is that they are sacrificing those people to make it more believable that it's not there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say next.
All right. I thought it was.
Yeah. So I think the Bermuda Triangle thing, I think that's pretty much open shut. Like that kind of just is true now. This is my favorite. This is my favorite theory. Yeah, is that they're actually an ancient advanced civilization.
Ancient advanced civilization. Okay.
And it's actually just the remnants of that civilization that they were wiped out during some other period in time. So
just one machine knocking around.
Yeah.
And all it's doing is kind of carrying out like research, but it's not really doing anything.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, if a Roomba was just left off by itself forever.
Yeah. Where does it get its energy and stuff from then?
Self-perpetuating.
That's handy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Real handy.
Yeah, thermal vents from the ocean. There we go.
And do we have any, like, is there anything out there that's like strange stuff happening in the sea that would, you know, match up to thermal vents?
What do you mean?
Well, like
we know that you get thermal vents from the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, but like, is there like, as in, there must be places where it's way different. No, the readings must be completely different.
Why? Because if this
there's a ship the size of Gibraltar going around the place.
But if this has been half of Gibraltar, but if this has been going this long, it's just part of the baseline.
No, it's not part of the baseline because it's shifting around the place. So it's gonna affect the oceans in different ways.
It doesn't move a lot.
It does.
It doesn't move a lot. No, it doesn't move a lot. It goes up and down.
You say it only goes up and down. It doesn't go anywhere else.
It goes side to side, but very, very, very slight movements.
Only at the weekends.
Yeah.
Okay, but if this thing does what it wants and it's from an ancient civilization,
yes,
then we've no control over whatsoever, right?
No, we don't.
So, would it be in our best interest to not reveal that it's there, or to reveal that it's there? In the government.
Not reveal, I think.
Why?
Because you just ask too many questions.
Yeah,
people are like, "What's going on?" Then
what's that all about?
Tearing up their history books.
Well, they wouldn't have to tear up their history books, would they? This history would still have happened.
They'd go, "This is nonsense."
What's nonsense?
History. If we're saying this is an ancient civilization, it could have been here since 4000 BC.
Yeah, it could have been, but like, as in, all of our history would still have happened.
But this was there, so it asks you like, what was going on before? What is this the remnants of?
Yeah, but I don't think people would throw away our history. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be like, sack it off.
I think they give it a sharp side eye. That's my opinion on that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The next theory, Dennis, is that I teased it earlier, the zoo hypothesis.
Okay.
So this is that they're coming here and they just monitor us for some reason, and they're just making sure we don't destroy ourselves.
All right, but there are no tours happening or anything like that. There
actually is the suggestion that there are tours, and he says that they once recovered a ship that was really like overmanned by their reckoning, and they theorized that was like some kind of observation ship.
Oh, right. So it was like a capsule from the London Eye or something.
It was like a glass-bottom boat of looking at humans.
And where did they find that?
I don't remember.
It's convenient.
They might not have asked him.
Asked who?
He said they did. Like, he said that they recovered that, but I don't think anyone asked him where did they recover it.
People are giving him fairly, like, softballing him questions, aren't they?
I think the thing that you don't understand about the UFO community is it's almost like, do you ever try to give a dog two toys at once?
Yeah.
Where like they kind of just go at the first one, and
the
second one just like flies off. Yeah, so like I'm digesting the fact that he's just told me that happened.
Yeah, so that's all you're happy with then. You don't really care past.
I don't give
questioning
a shit.
Anything really.
I couldn't care less about when, where, whatever. I just want to know the hard facts that it did happen.
Didn't you say at the start that the real problem in UFO communities is that we're not questioning things enough?
That was yes, and I think this is a good example of that.
Where we're not questioning enough.
Yeah, we should have questioned more.
But you said you were happy with
not
questioning.
I'm part of the problem. I'll hold my hands up, yeah.
But you're refusing to improve.
Yes.
Okay.
Next theory, Dennis. Next theory is you teased it. I can kind of combine two theories here. You teased it. They created us.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my theories. They created us. Now, I didn't really go deep on the purpose, but you have an interesting thought on the purpose, that we're actually terraformers.
Yeah.
I have another theory for you that ties into the zoo hypothesis that I was thinking of when I said they created us, is we're actually an endangered species from a totally other planet.
That's cool.
And that they've just made Earth as like a little refuge.
That is really cool. What would be the point in doing that though? Why would they have to keep us alive?
Because like, why do we keep snow leopards alive? Pandas.
So we can make money out of them.
Not snow leopards, surely. Who's trekking up?
You love snow leopards.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, I love them. I've adopted one called Snowy.
There you go. But like, as in, there's reasons for, let's say, bringing back animals or whatever, like
puffins.
Lynx, puffins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top of the list for everyone. Bring back puffins, even. Oh. Anyway, But yeah, but there's reasons.
Bring back migratory birds.
But come back. But there's reasons for all those things coming back, right? But why?
Yeah.
Or like again, you know, is it the zoo? Is that why they're bringing it back? They want to have a pretty cool thing to look at.
Yeah, it's part of that.
Thought so, yeah. Right, son, why are you trying to fucking spoon feed it like?
Final theory, Dennis, is that they're preparing for an invasion. That's why the base is there.
But what are they preparing for? Like an invasion is in like against them?
No, against us.
But why are they protecting us?
Oh, maybe against them as well.
Oh my god.
Both. Not at the same time. No. Be ludicrous. No, that they're preparing for. They're just like keeping an eye on Earth, making sure that we haven't destroyed it, waiting for like the mothership to land.
All right, and they're going to come down then and wipe us out.
Yeah.
Okay. So we should do something about this giant Gibraltar boat submarine. Yeah.
Potentially one of the half Gibraltar. One of the thoughts, yes, is that we should do something.
Probably get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, no matter what it is, I think you should probably get rid of it just to be on the safe side.
That it's never good to hear that from a doctor.
No, it's not. But you don't want it in you. All right, I think that's it for this week's episode. I've been Denis Len, as always. You can find me at Denis Len 3D and all that. Please give us 5-star reviews. I have to say, Rog, we got 100 5-stars on Spotify.
I think we're on 101 now.
All right, deadly.
Yeah, but it's actually not. It's not 105 star reviews because one fucker gave us a 1-star once.
Well, in that case, we do have 105 stars, so it's 101.
Yeah.
But yeah, very happy with that. I've been going on about that for ages, so thanks very much. Review us over on Apple and all the rest of it as well. And over there is
Roger O'Sullivan. You can find me on Instagram at Roger O'Comedy. And now we're headed over to the Den Files, aren't we?
Yes, we are. You should see what I've got cooked up for you.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Well, I can't wait for that. And to everyone else, in the meantime, love you. Bye.